We got back from our Daytona 500 trip, which might be my biggest mush to date. Everywhere I go is terrible. Everything I touch turns to shit. Went down to, beautiful sunny Daytona, Florida, where you're supposed to experience the, NASCAR Super Bowl, which is nothing but like drinking and sunshine and friendliness and cars and women and just everything that like America stands for. And we brought 72 hours worth of rain with us, and the whole thing got washed out.
Didn't even see a car.
I didn't see a car. I kind of heard a car in the distance at one point. I watched the Truck Series on TV. I watched them all crash on TV. That was the only actual NASCAR I watched.
I didn't see a car. I took an Uber or two, but I did not see a race car the entire weekend, which I haven't done since I went to Preakness when I was in college and didn't see a horse the whole time.
You're right.
And
yeah, usually when you say things like I didn't even see the game, man, it's for good reason.
Yeah,
you just partied so hard that you didn't see it. This unfortunately was due to weather. Nothing NASCAR could do about it. But I will say this, even without even actually experiencing the sport, I got a vibe. I understand why people fall in love with it and get addicted after really experiencing it, because there is a vibe around that whole sport that is every other sport could take a page out of their book, where it's just every other, the access that you guys we got because we're Barstool bloggers, but if you came to the party, you were just drinking beers with Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin.
Right.
And that's I was at the bar and I was drinking with LeBron and Steph. It's that level. It's fucking insane that those guys, and I guess it's kind of a testament to how NASCAR kind of is a blue collar, traditional American sport where they're just the way I understand it is they plan all the parties for Friday night. And I asked what goes on Saturday night, and they said nothing. And they were like, because Friday night, they all want to get fucked up and party, the drivers. And then Saturday night, they can't do that. So they plan everything for Friday so that everybody can go out and, experience all the parties and all, the fanfare, because the actual competitors want to be a part of that. And I'll say, man, I've tried to show people a good time, take you to your first ball game, or you've never been to the Garden, or hey, I got to take you to your first football game. And if it gets rained out or it's a bad experience, I'm just kind of shit. Oh, well, man, I don't know. The amount of people who came up to me from Barstool who have experienced NASCAR, from the NASCAR people, competitors in NASCAR, spotters and pitmen, the corporate people at NASCAR, they were like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, first of all, it's the fucking rain.
It's
nobody's fault.
It's fucking God, damn it.
But secondly, they were just I just the fact that you didn't get to experience this. It's it's got to be a religious experience that we just missed out on. The amount of people being you please tell me you're gonna come back, because knowing that you guys didn't get the full show is eating at them. I'm it's okay. Don't lose sleep over this. We'll go to Talladega. We'll come back next year. I don't know. We'll do something. But man, people are that passionate about it. So there's obviously something to it. And it's people who I love that Large and Spider by the way, are truly the mayors of NASCAR, which is I mean, I don't know about Spider. I think Spider has watched for a while, but Large kind of took a liking to it after coming to Barstool. And having since become a real fan, I mean, he's every driver's favorite guy. He's waving, kissing babies, shaking hands.
Spider was extremely impressive. We did a little live show.
Yeah,
Spider was. I knew I knew Large was good. I hadn't seen Spider do much content before. Spider was incredibly interesting, funny, educated, smart.
Right.
Knew I was
asking the right
shit,
questions, knowing all the info, knowing all the stats.
I also earlier you were talking about religious experience. I did get my religious experience this weekend.
Oh, what's that?
That was when a man fed us with a shovel.
Bro.
Chef Jason.
What a funny moment this was. I'm so excited to tell this part of the story. So NASCAR also, I mean, the red carpet does not begin to describe it. You get picked up dropped off everywhere you need to go, to and from. They're driving you in cars. They're driving you in golf carts. You don't need to lift a finger. You don't need to move. Everything's set for you. They take you here. They take you there. They give you booze. They feed you food. If it's raining, they have a tarp for you. If it's not, you're partying in the sunshine. If you
This is what everyone gets, by the way.
Yeah.
Everyone at NASCAR gets that experience.
No, of course we get the special treatment, but there are, plenty of times we try to do things with other leagues, and they're like, here's like a pass that gets you like, into like one press conference. It's like, fuck that, So they roll it out, and we get to the spot on the infield where we have 2 double wide RVs with a tarp connecting them, and Chef Jason is there, and Chef Jason is whipping up some barbecues, got some ribs and all sorts of shit going. And I always say I don't like barbecue food, and I told him this. I always say I don't like barbecue food, and then I realize I never actually eat real barbecue.
Yeah.
I'm eating New York barbecue. And every time I have some real shit, some Kansas City stuff, some Texas, some Florida, I'm always like, "Oh, that's right. This is the real deal." But that being said, I like barbecue. I still don't eat like a barbecue man eats. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't eat like Feidelberg eats. You give me a plate of food, I have like a side, an entree, a few bites of some other shit, and I'm done. Chef Jason loaded up our plates. We had some ribs. We had some pastalaya, which is bow tie pasta cooked jambalaya style.
Which I didn't put together the entire time.
I thought it was. I was like, I've never heard of this dish, pastalaya, but okay. I thought it was Italian.
I was eating it, going, damn, this kind of tastes like a good jambalaya. Never made the connection.
Now, I had my fill. I had like a rack of ribs, basically a bowl's worth of pastalaya, and I was done. The only problem was there was only one garbage, and it was right next to Chef Jason, where he was standing. And I was like, I cannot be rude and throw out the rest of this food. And everybody else was eating. It wasn't like I could be like, hey, you want some of this food? Everybody had their own plate. And so I'm kind of waiting. And eventually he's talking to somebody, and there's like a clear shot to the garbage. And I'm like, I'm going to go now. I'm going to make a break for it. And as I walk over, his conversation happens to end. And he turns to me, so I'm walking towards the grill, and he goes, oh, this man's hungry. He wants another plate. And I was like, yes, sir, I do. I am still starving. And that's when he took out a spatula that was no smaller than a full like snow shovel.
Oh, I genuinely think it was a shovel. I think it was a shovel. I think it was like it wasn't like a full shovel. Like I think it had a shovel end. I think it was like it was in a cauldron. And it was
a cauldron and a shovel.
I think it was like a shovel of sorts. I think it was a specially made. It was so many. He was using 2 hands.
A shovel of sorts. That's great.
Perhaps it was like like to build sandcastles or something, but like, it was a shovel, dude. I've been telling everyone I got fed by a shovel. I wasn't exactly. I'm pretty sure it was a shovel.
That is some funny shit, man. I mean, he definitely hit it with 2 hands, and then poured off the side. Like it was like a shovel and like dump. He didn't pour, just shovel dump. dump. And it made my plate like heavy. And it just totally backfired. And I was like, I'm just gonna have to stuff myself full. As John was like, we're just eating until it's gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if we're not hungry anymore. We're just eating until it's gone. It was so goddamn delicious though. And again, they just like, what do you want? You can have it anything you want. Snap your fingers, and it was there, except for a goddamn race. The only thing they couldn't provide was the race itself. But, I mean, the fact that, Chase Elliott was at the bar, and it wasn't crazy. It was just like, yeah, Chase is here. Darren's here. And some people came up, but for the most part, they're just kind of leaning over the balcony, sipping a beer, just being like, what's up, man? I eventually walked over to Chase and talked to him, and he told me he knew who I was from 1 Minute Man, which is also crazy because I just never – I'm always stunned when like any celebrities know my shit, but certainly a NASCAR guy. I don't think of a NASCAR guy as going on Instagram to keep up with like celebrity gossip and Hollywood news and shit, And he's like, "You do good, man. You do a good job of doing everything real fast." And I was like, Was that an actual joke? Because I think, out of the two people here, I think you're the one known for doing things fast, Chase. I don't think you should
Chase,
be
you see how quick I come.
I met Bubba Wallace's spotter, Freddie, who is a Mets fan from Long Island who moved down to North Carolina. Was just awesome. Just giving me Denny. Bubba Wallace races for Jordan and Denny Hamlin's team. By the way, so crazy that Denny Hamlin owns a brand but also races a car for another brand.
Yeah.
That's nuts to me. NASCAR's just like, whatever, we don't fucking care. But I was getting some like behind the scenes stories about Jordan and like him in NASCAR, and I mean just like it's a very, very cool sport. It was quite the juxtaposition watching NBA All-Star Weekend compared to NASCAR, because I feel like you couldn't get further apart in terms of that vibe, you know what I mean? Like in terms of access and just like the atmosphere around the sport. So we'll have to try to do it again. But I mean I just think I'm a curse. I think it's like you guys should just go without me.
It was
brought the rain to Vegas. We brought the rain to Daytona.
That was crazy. Just like we've been on the road for 2 weeks and hadn't seen sun in 2 hot places.
Right, 2 places that I thought were like never raining. It rained for like 7 straight days total on our trips. Did get some cool jackets.
I did not take mine home. Did you?
I did take mine.
I left mine for the maid. I figured the person doing the hotel would probably like it.
Didn't think you were gonna wear your Chase Elliott jacket again?
I didn't think I was gonna get it. I felt like a poser. No disrespect to Chase Elliott.
Well, here's the thing. We got
someone gave me a lollipop. I was the gayest, not gayest, actually sluttiest thing I did all weekend.
You were sucking on that thing, man.
It was,
oh my
it was
god,
the longest lollipop ever.
We did the NASCAR makeover, which yes, you feel like a poser. But also, I'm so happy we did because, like, I wore my regular clothes. I had jeans, a T-shirt, and like a shacket over, like a button-up shirt over it. And
I didn't feel like a poser for wearing NASCAR clothes. I felt like a poser in Chase Elliott.
Got it.
I think that was like being like, I'm a football fan. Go Chiefs. Like,
yeah, because he's fucking awesome.
It's like I remember when.
But he's on the comeback. He broke his leg, and now he needs to prove himself again.
Agreed.
Like,
but like he's still like I think 7 years running fan favorite player, favorite racer.
Yeah, so
where
definitely picking like Mahomes.
I remember when I started following the Premier League, we put a lot of thought into that. Mm-hmm. We were like, we're not going to just go, Man U, like whatever. At the time, Liverpool was not a good team,
right?
So like it was like
you earned it.
You wanted it wasn't they weren't bottom of the barrel team, but they weren't a good team. You wanted a little bit of like something. I feel like jumping on Chase Elliott kind of makes me a pussy.
I hear you. We also talked to Zane Smith, who was the rookie of the year. So he's a new driver who, I mean, he's on the come up as well. But I mean, if I rolled up to NASCAR dressed like I was, I feel like I would have felt like a total asshole. So we made a stop at Bass Pro Shop, and I got some fly fishing pants. I got a Daytona shirt. We got the starter jackets and some NASCAR trucker hats, and it was just I was like, thank God we did this because, yes, I'm a total pussy and I'm a total, like, city slicker, city boy, not NASCAR guy. But at least let me pretend for the day, at least. And it was fitting, at least, that I found the Jordan starter jacket. It's like, all right, this one brand I can rep a little bit.
Did you buy that there?
No, that was part of, like, the NASCAR grab
I was going
bag.
to say, yeah.
That was just like they had a box and they were like, you want to wear this shit? I was like, hell yeah. It was a double XL, so I was swimming in it. But my favorite part, your favorite part was getting fed by a shovel. My favorite part was shopping at Bass Pro Shops, where the crusade that I wanted to fight, about 9 months ago, where I wanted to restart and fix the clothing sizing issue in America, where you buy an XL now and I barely fit in it, and yes, it's because I'm middle aged and getting fat, but also an XL from like the 90s is not an XL anymore. And I come to realize that maybe this is just like a New York thing or an up north thing, because you go back down to Florida and sizes are the way they're meant to be. You grab an extra large, it's a fucking extra large. You go shopping for pants, on the rack they had a 50-32. I've never seen a 5 handle shopping for pants. 50-32. There was a 48-30. What is going on here? And I was able to pull out a fucking medium Daytona t-shirt. I was like, I am a medium in Florida, bro. Let's go. We need to all readapt the Florida sizing because this shit up here, I'm pushing double XL these days. It's fucking ridiculous. So that made me feel good about myself. The Bass Pro Shop is an experience unto itself. They had a whole setup outside. There was a big trailer there with a bunch of women who were running an awareness foundation type thing called Shoot Like a Girl, where they teach all the women, mothers and daughters proper gun protocol and bow and arrows and just how to shoot and how to be safe and how to protect yourself and all that stuff. And they said to us, you guys, it's not for you guys because we only have the bow and arrows and the not bow and arrow, the bow crossbow and guns for the girls, but we don't have any like that are sized correctly for the men. And I was thinking to myself, like, I think I'll be okay. I think if you gave me a female bow and arrow, I'd be all right. I probably can't even handle the lady bow and arrow either, lady. So, this was her talking, trying to, and I gave her the old, we'll come back later.
Oh, she knew that was bullshit.
Totally. I tried to sell it by saying, can I take this?
Yeah.
And she was
that
like,
was a good
sure.
move.
Yeah. I said to her, we have a lot of shit to do with NASCAR, but are you going to be here all day? Because we can come back afterwards. And she was like, yeah, sure. And I said, may I take the flyer with me? And trying to convince her that, like, I really do care. Maybe I will come back. I'll scan the QR code. And I think she was like, see you later, you fucking pussies.
I think the fact that we stood there for a half hour afterwards.
The fact that we stood there for the correct amount of time to do the whole fucking thing probably didn't help the lie.
They haven't taken a step yet.
I will say this: we might not got the full NASCAR experience, but I hope to God, and this is not something that can happen, but if I had one wish, I would make it happen. I wish that everybody on this planet could get the full out and about experience.
Yeah.
Because when you are out with Pat and Joey, take how funny their podcast is and their clips are and whatnot. When they're off camera and they're just doing their thing, multiply how funny they are by like 1 billion. Joey and Pat, when they are just riffing at the bar, at the party, dressed up in fucking camo, white trash Pat with his fucking sling, Joey walking around. People thought Joey was like an extinct animal, just being like being an openly gay man like him. They were like, what is this? What are we witnessing here? I've never seen this before. I told them my goal in life is to somehow get like a reality crew to follow them, or like hidden cameras, the sunglasses with the cameras in them to just capture those guys when they are out, because it would be the funniest show on TV. It would be the funniest show on the internet. Just them being their ridiculous selves out in the wild. And some of it would have to be behind a paywall for sure. But those guys start a Patreon with some of their uncensored content. Fucking forget about it. Everybody else retire. They're unreal. Joey in that setting.